what up, everybody? It's your boy. I'm just playing as this do on the Break Bread podcast. Welcome to episode 27. Guys, I've been going through the Twitter streets, seeing what's happening when Zagalani, up until I came across from Khuli Chana. And I saw that he's got something brewing with Trace International. Yes, you guessed it right. It's the Originators. Khuli Chana does something that I think not many people actually understand. Khuli Chana always sticks to his lane, and today I want to chop that up on the Break Bread podcast. I want to really talk about a few things that I think Khuli gets right as a brand. You know, Khuli Chana, everything that he's done has always been calculated. He always wants to figure out what can they do in terms of longevity. I'm not going to give away much, but damn, you saw what Mufftown Heights did with KFC, right? It didn't stop there. And then came the Absolute thing. I've spoken about Absolute before in this podcast. That was just a game changer, album, Absolute. It won at Cannes. It did things that I think for the brand were very amazing. Khuli Chana having his bottle as well. But it didn't stop there as well for Khuli Chana. He did a chapter 2 of that campaign. But the thing about Khuli is that through these pivotal moments, and I'm probably missing so many more, is that his brand has always been at the core. Khuli Chana, Motswako has always been at the core. But now he's so smart in that he's introducing the originator. Because, you guessed it, the Motswako originator. So that's what Khuli does, man. Khuli does that. Khuli figures out, what do I stand for? Who's the best person? So on Monday, the trailer's out. I think it's going to be talking to artists. But the great thing is that you're actually going to get where the artist originated from. Because, I mean, I haven't seen the show script or whatever, but I think the concept is easy to sell in that it's artists that we love, but they originate a story. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the series is about. I'm looking forward to hearing new things from the artist. I'm looking forward to hearing the origination process. Because I think we know the artist. We know the music. But it's fantastic, man. The fact that A. Reese will be there talking as well is just mind-blowing. A. Reese is like Frank Ocean. He is very aloof. You never get to see him much. He hardly tweets, which I think makes him personally an amazing artist because you never see A. Reese, which is great. That's why we always miss him. And whenever he shows up on interviews with the media, we always jump for joy. So that's a brilliant strategy on Khuli's part to bring someone like A. Reese to talk about his origination story. We also saw Questa. It's going to be exciting again to see or hear something that is different. PH as well. I think his story needs to be told. PH has done amazing things as well in terms of a brand. Nadia Nakai and a few other more people. But basically, guys, what Khuli's doing is moving the culture forward with entertainment and content. The fact that this will be on TV, on Trace International, is great because it means that our stories of our culture get to be on TV, get to be exposed to people, get to inspire people, get the artists to tell their story. And I think it's a fantastic concept. I really want to say shout out Khuli for pushing the culture forward. As a person who's been doing this content thing for a minute now, I really think seeing something like this and seeing it on TV is exciting. Games you're going to drop. So I really want to say, guys, pay attention when artists do these things, you know. Maybe for us, we geek out on them because they seem interesting. Because I saw the originator thing, I was like, that's a podcast. Because the name always adds meaning to the artist. And I always talk about artists having sub-brands. You know, you can't be an artist and not have something that you stand for. So you can be rapper A, but you need to have a property around rapper A that always gets you different streams of income. Khuli's a rapper, but Khuli is now building the originator sub-brand for me. And I think that's fantastic because who knows what he may do with originator. You know, he could do an originator series. He could do an originator documentary. He could do an originator album, EP. My bad, Khuli, I'm giving away too much. But I really think that you are sport for choice if you're an artist like Khuli Chana, longevity in the game, countless records, countless hits, humble as ever. Humble as ever. That is just something that you can't buy. You know, I remember when I was always talking about Khuli, and he literally inboxed me and said, "Yo, bro, thanks for always showing me love." I was like, wow. In this day and age, an artist as big as he is comes down and shows us mere mortals love. I think that's fantastic, man. So remember, guys, be a sub-brand as an artist. Have what you stand for, and then start building your properties around that. Khuli Chana's done that brilliantly on episode 27 on the Break Bread podcast. I think it's amazing. I think it comes at the right time, especially when artists need to pivot and find interesting things to do. You know, I think one of these days I'm going to talk about artists that pivoted due to COVID and done interesting things. Ricky Rick has done a podcast. Been watching that as well. That's great. So I think the more artists get into content creation and having podcasts, because artists, you've got a platform. Host a podcast, do a live, but create a property. And someone like Khuli with the Originators series and moving the culture forward, for me, is probably a shining light of an example of someone that is relentless, someone that is always keeping things on check, always making sure that we always see him differently. I love that about Khuli Chana, right? He always wants you to see him differently. Think about it. You saw him differently with KFC. You saw him differently with Absolute. Now you're seeing him differently with the Originators. I didn't know I was going to get to that point, but I think for me that is the perfect summation. Make your fans and the media and culture see you differently as an artist. Because if you can span decades like Khuli and people can see you differently, for me, you become a brand. It's adding meaning. That's what a brand is. It adds meaning to who you are. And Khuli Chana's meaning is growing. I mean, Jeep. We've spoken about that, right? Jeep. Who knows what's happening there? Khuli slowly moving in a lane that is so interesting. And I think for me as an originator, which Khuli Chana is, I think it's a great example. If you want to see how to move as an artist, because guys, maybe sometimes it is all about the music, but I think the music industry these days has taught us that you need to do other interesting stuff so that when you drop an album or an EP, the Originator EP, who knows what may happen. So for me, I really want to say salute to Khuli Chana, catch that, and really, really talk about how amazing, how amazing your brand is. The Originator series, I'm fascinated by it. I can't wait to check it out. It's your boy, I'm just playing Assistant Do on skinnyjeans.tv on the Break Bread podcast, episode 28. Let me know, like and subscribe, comment, share, dislike if you have to. We'll take any like. And we out.